And as he always used to say, at least it was 3 inches. Thank you very much. What the fuck? Why are you clapping for that? Okay, anyway, lovely words there from everyone. So let's head outside for the final part of the funeral. Wait, hang on. Who's taken the hearse? Yeah, nah, I'll be honest with you lads, this is gonna need further explaining later on in the video. Yo guys, it is your boy Niren here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? It's hot. Really hot. Like, everywhere. I haven't stopped sweating in 3 weeks. This is a very serious topic, to be fair, as wildfires are sweeping across Greece and Italy right now due to insane temperatures across the continent. It's claiming the homes of many and could be the hottest July ever, according to scientists. But how will we stop climate change? Regulate massive corporations responsible for carbon emissions? Nah. To be fair, slap a Just Stop Oil protester in front of it and nothing's getting past him, I promise. Nah, mate. Make Steven Gerrard Prime Minister. Nothing he runs is ever on fire. Give every footballer an electric car. Or install wind turbines at every single pitch.
Look at the size of that fucker.
On to the football though now, and Just Stop Oil won't be happy with this move. Oh, for fuck's sake. Saudi Arabia have made a sensational bid for Kylian Mbappe. 700 million euros in wages, plus 300 million euros as a transfer fee, and the promise of being able to sign for Real Madrid for free in a year.
Inshallah.
Mate, I'd drive to Saudi Arabia for that deal if I was Kylian.
Tell him to bring me my money. Yeah!
This is a monster contract and gives him that Real Madrid dream after a year. It's gotta be done, surely. This was always the plan. He dreamt of Al Hilal. Imagine Al Hilal's owners to Al Ettifaq now after pulling this deal off.
That's the difference between me and you. Because while you were sitting around, waiting, doing niche, I was out making moves.
On the flip side though, and the poor migrant workers are looking at their yearly wage of £37.50 and a Tesco club card, heavily disappointed. This sort of money is insane. Saudi Arabia might legit take over, you know. I'm starting Project Mbappe immediately.
Broski!
I'm getting my kid out of bed at 4 AM on a Tuesday to do headers and volleys. Basketball player Giannis Antetokounmpo said that he looks like Kylian Mbappe, so he wants that Saudi money too, to which Kylian replied laughing. This guy does not care. He's about to pick Qatar versus Saudi Arabia in Oil Clasico. LeBron is also wanting that Al Hilal move. Imagine basketballers up top in Saudi Arabia next season.
Come on, you fat slug! Oh, you fucking... Oh, yeah.
And Kylian has been left out of PSG's Japanese pre-season tour, which means he might actually be leaving. He'll be dipping into the PSG store to buy some final merch before leaving, but reports are circulating that he may well have rejected it. Imagine this guy's rejecting $700 million a year. Meanwhile, I'm drinking Jaeger bombs to pass the time. Rejecting $700 million a year while I'm concerned about an increase in Tesco meal deal prices. And might that open the door to a Premier League club? Tottenham are apparently one of the clubs interested. Yeah, and I'm one of the men interested in Margot Robbie. Yeah, nah, in a bit. Okay, say less. PSG are gonna be fuming when they get a bid of £17 million and Davinson Sanchez through.
You're taking the piss, please leave.
And furthermore, it seems like Kylian isn't interested at all. After all, here's the bid that Tottenham have put together for his wage demands. Now, over in the US, and Lionel Messi has made his first appearances for Inter Miami, and it's fair to say they were dramatic. Lionel came off the bench to score a 90th minute free kick winner on his MLS debut. Honestly, you couldn't have written it any better. And for speed, it means a change of allegiance.
Messi got his free kick. I'm a Messi fan. Wallah.
All the stars were out to see this. LeBron was even there to watch him. And I can't wait for him to lie unnecessarily like he always does after his meeting with Leo. That's crazy. We actually went to the same high school together in biology class. Yeah, man, we're both there when Baby Gronk rizzed up Livy Dunn, man. It was crazy. Baby Gronk is 9. You weren't even in the same school. Realistically, we all knew what was going to happen when that free kick took place. The other Inter Miami players that wanted to take this set piece were stood in the background watching on. Honestly, David Beckham had a better chance of taking the free kick than they did. United, and in his first start, he grabbed 2 goals and an assist in a 4-0 Inter Miami win. These lot hadn't won in 2 months. They were tasting defeat more than Paul's goals, but now they've won back-to-back matches. The other MLS bosses are pulling out all the stops to try and convince referees to give them a head start against Messi's side, and Wayne Rooney said that it could be a struggle for him to adapt to the league. Brother, you became a goalkeeper, defender, and midfielder in one play over here. Leo's teammates can't even deal with the ability on show, but at kickoff, and he had DJ Khaled's son as a mascot. Some say I'm the best, but I don't know, man. I'm humble, you know what I'm saying?
We the best!
Alright, okay, well, I mean, you're 4 years old, so... The kid cried before the match, probably at his dad saying another one at every one of Messi's touches, and Leo commemorated his first goal with a hold my beer celebration aimed at David Beckham. Either that, or he's using the 4s. I am your father. I know. I'm Thiago Messi. No, just say the line. Hang on a second. Who's that in the crowd on the TV?
If you're talking the hardest gigs.
Giggs in big old Miami. I'm proud of him, man. Great to see him and David Beckham reunited after the Manchester days. They shared a moment clocking eyes from over the advertising board. Meanwhile, Leo, obviously man of the match here, but he is in for a shock when he realises that the prize for an American man of the match is a semi-automatic pistol. Over at Tottenham, and they've done the unthinkable. They've won a trophy.
Just incredible, obviously.
It's impossible to explain what I'm feeling.
Except it's the Tiger Cup. Tottenham won the final, 5-1 in easy fashion to lift silverware with a Richarlison hat-trick here. Temperatures may have been high across Europe, but it was Tottenham and Richarlison that were red hot in July. They cruised past Singapore's Lion City Sailors. Sailors? These lot have got Davy Jones at left back. Hey bro, do you mind if I put something in your locker? Oh, right, I get it, because Davy Locker. These lot were extras in Pirates of the Caribbean. You cannot convince me they've not played a pro clubs team here. Nah, Sailors is actually crazy, you know. HMS Singapore. You don't play at striker, you play at starboard, bro. Richarlison scored 3 of them, to be fair to him, and another 2 that were offside as usual.
You just knew that was going to happen.
Here we have Richie celebrating his offside goal versus a P&O Cruise assistant captain. The players were gassed for the victory, but Harold Kane was not so much, walking off early from the celebrations.
Is he walking away from the job?
The janitor who de-dusted the trophy cabinet was delighted that he got his first day off in 15 years. Meanwhile, Spurs fans are gassed at this revelation until it all comes crashing down at the end of the season.
Easy top 3. If I'm not 16!
Now though, it's time for the Women's World Cup action. The competition is now well underway here, and Zambia have already claimed the Best Entrance Award. The team lost, but we don't care. They've got vibes. Right, Lushomo, obviously I'm gonna need you to do a lot of the... Guys, come on, we need to actually talk. The team they faced were Japan, and they're doing Japan things, cleaning up the dressing room and saying thank you after their game. I'm convinced if you tackled a Japanese person down the stairs, they'd say thank you afterwards. Such nice and wholesome people. For their third goal, the ball almost travelled over the touchline, but was kept in. Germany are getting PTSD right now. For Colombia, and Linda Caicedo's got a crazy record of scoring at 3 World Cups all in the same year, being youth tournaments and then the real thing. Imagine Todd Bowley hearing Caicedo on a madness.
I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise you, I'm gonna get you out of there.
But there'll be some confusion when he starts driving her back and realises he's made a grave mistake.
Are you a bloke?
There were crazy scenes for the Philippines as well, who were playing in their first World Cup and provided an unbelievable shot to win 1-0. And the commentary on Filipino TV was beautiful.
Egeshvik right now, high ball to Serena Bolden! And Bolden gets the first goal for the Philippines in the FIFA Women's World Cup! Take a look what that means!
Vietnam are also in their first tournament, and they faced up against... Oh god, no, not the rematch. A bit of an awkward fixture this one, but the USA won it easily here to make it 1-1 on aggregate overall with Vietnam. Things got complex though in a team meeting afterwards. I personally think we should try focusing play down the left wing. Ireland are unfortunately out of the tournament already, but it was a memorable moment from Katie McCabe, who managed to score directly from a corner. Meanwhile, England beat Haiti, although by a slim margin, 1-0 here. The goal was from the penalty spot, and thankfully it wasn't Harry Kane on duty. Over at United, and their squad are ready for the new season, apart from Casemiro, seemingly, who's come back looking a little bit different. He looks like he's about to offer me a free scratch card, for God's sake. Here we have him addressing the rest of the United squad ahead of their next team meal.
Ahaba, Anna, see you soon.
Him and Luke Shaw are at least bonding in the club club canteen together, though Luke will be furious when he tries to nab the left-back's last sandwich before the next game.
No, I'm had enough of it. It was the same last week. They're all dipping into mine going, oh, yours is really nice. I'm like, yes, it is. That's why I ordered it. In fact, forget it. I want no part of it. I'll order my own. I'll eat it in the car. I'm out.
I do know this is photoshopped, by the way. Don't worry, lads. Unless some fans on Twitter are upset with Lisandro Martinez for his crazy challenges in this pre-season. First on Jude Bellingham and then Bukayo Saka. This man's single-handedly trying to end England's World Cup 26 hopes. We have highlights of his scraps with Bukayo and Jude here. There was controversy when United played Wrexham too, as Paul Mullin, playing for the Ryan Reynolds-owned club, suffered a punctured lung thanks to a robust challenge from a United youngster. Here we have Lisandro Martinez rocking up at the hospital to greet Paul. Meanwhile, at least Ben Foster's got some content for after the game. Yo, lads, top legends you guys are. Paul might only have 50% of his lungs, but he's 100% top geezer. Arsenal are also embarking on their pre-season and won 5-3 versus Barcelona, though Rob Holding made a catastrophic error early on in this one to concede a goal, which I can only imagine was caused by his new hair getting in his eyes. Gunners fans roasted him online for it, and he released a cryptic IG story message seeming to hit back at them. They might have rejected £2 million from Besiktas, but at this point I think they'd accept a free bus ticket to take him to Turkey now. Xavi was not happy with Arsenal's physicality. Arsenal are just embracing their hard hats. I mean, hard man look. Meanwhile, Ronald Araujo will be going in for a challenge next time they play against each other in Arsenal's away kit.
I just hit my head.
Staying on the Arsenal team, and we've got a new dad who's named his kid Bukayo. Now, there's obvious questions here, but first of all, why does he look like he gave birth to the kid? Second of all, one bite of fufu and this kid's gonna unlock his inner Nigerian.
Aren't you that guy that's like weird accent?
This accent is the part of me. I tried it once, I tried more, and I tried the love, and I cannot stop.
Imagine him trying to explain his ethnicity on the first day of school.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity.
Meanwhile, we've got the teacher at the front of the Nigerian Name Association addressing the class in front of him.
You are freaking African Americans plus Mark. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm rocking with Mark.
Elsewhere, and there's the news that Jesse Lingard is setting up a new club called J-Lings FC. I'm looking forward to the tactics that these lot use. Lingard himself trying to distract the referee with some improvised dance.
You wanna take me away?
The opponent's manager will not be impressed when he sees Jesse bust out the cha-cha slide on the touchline.
Look at him with his claps. Someone punch the twat. Oh, fuck off. Get out. My eyes are bleached.
I've got to say, though, it is going to be great for the Manchester community, and it's nice to see footballers reinvesting in clubs like this. Manchester City are on a busy pre-season. They faced off against Japanese opposition, and the admin for Yokohama didn't quite get the social cue of Pep Guardiola staring at him. They did, though, go 1-0 down here, and Yokohama's striker brought out the Erling Haaland celebration. That's outrageous. This might be Pep Guardiola out. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland got man of the match here and won 1 million yen for it. If this was a thing in England, he'd have earned the entire economy by now. This is what Manchester would look like if that was the case. Drained all of the resources. Meanwhile, one Premier League stadium was evacuated this week after a suspicious package was found in its grounds. Scary stuff, but whose stadium was it? Well, Chelsea officials will be confused finding Graham Potter in the toilets.
What brings you here, Potter?
Tottenham security will be escorting Richarlison off the premises for attempting to smuggle the Tiger Cup into the stadium. Meanwhile, Liverpool staff will have serious questions to ask when they find a man walking alone inside of Anfield. Chelsea beat Brighton 4-3 in pre-season in a Moises Caicedo custody battle. Meanwhile, there's the news that Jordan Henderson has officially left for Saudi Arabia. He realised that Liverpool weren't signing Jude Bellingham and realised that he had to go. My work here is done. We don't even have him. You didn't do anything. No, but genuinely though, Jordan Henderson will always go down, I think, as a legendary Liverpool captain and brought me some of my best memories in football, so I wish him only the best. Aldershot beat Chelsea this week and tweeted about the victory, saying it was a simple one against mid-table Premier League opposition. Shot by name, shot by nature. It's a shithousery award. The Premier League have introduced body cam this week in the American pre-season tournament, and we saw it being used by Yuri Tielemans as he came off the bench for Aston Villa. This is an unbelievable concept. It really gives you an actual grasp of how intense English football is, even in a friendly. But honestly, could you imagine Harry Maguire having this stuck to him for a Man United game next year?
Give me a little thumbnail, pussy. Bro, kiss it with this. Oh, shit.
There's the news that Everton have signed Arnaud Danjuma, who of course was meant to sign for them last season before last minute changing his mind and joining Tottenham. And Everton fans have got him cornered inside Goodison Park, suspicious that he'll pull off the same move again.
Don't fucking try any of that shit, because I've been here before. I'm a professional. This is what I do.
Meanwhile, it's fair to say that Luton have really upgraded from their usual living room stadium here in Spain now, and Barcelona had to cancel a pre-season friendly against Juventus after a sickness bug struck most of the team the day before the game. Things start to become a little bit clearer when we see the chef in question. They've had one sip of prime and these lot are done out already. It's terrible! Listen, I would be ill as well if Sergi Roberto was my captain. Got a feel for the Barca squad here and the fans. I hope people that travelled out got a good refund. But honestly, they've knocked down the new camp and forgotten they've knocked down the kitchen as well. Marcos Alonso's gonna have to be on duty and drive everybody to the hospital, although he might not be the safest hands they could be in. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are busy completing generational deals in the transfer window. What are Barcelona doing to combat that, I may hear you cry?
Izquierda, cruza, abajo, derecha, izquierda, cruza, abajo.
Yeah, listen, this is the Robert Lewandowski effect. At Real Madrid, and Aurelien Tchouameni pulled out this unbelievable Rabona in warm-up straight into the top corner. This has given me a Rabona, if you know what I'm saying. Ben Brereton has finally broken the shackles of Blackburn Rovers and made a move to a top-flight club. It's Villarreal over in La Liga, and he smashed his initiation at his new club. Martin Braithwaite has gone AWOL after failing to turn up for training for Espanyol, claiming that he would never play for a second division side. This man has Leganes and Middlesbrough on his rap sheet. You are a second division player.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
In Germany now, and one journalist went to a Tottenham press conference holding a Bayern shirt that had Harry Kane's name on the back. Now, apart from this definitely being disrespectful, I rate it. Look, you're making things happen, and it might be working. Harry Kane was seen trying to sneak out of Tottenham Stadium without anyone noticing. And staying on the Bayern theme, Sadio Mane refused to speak to German media after a number of negative stories that have been reported about him.
You kill me every day, you want me to talk to you guys. Come on.
Hey, listen, if that journalist has a Mane shirt, just change that to Kane, bro. It's one letter. Who was the interviewer in all of this? Why was he so angry? Sadio will be throwing hands the next time he gets a question from Bill. Meanwhile, that journalist will not forget that and will be charging onto the pitch to slide tackle Sadio the next time Bayern play. Meanwhile, new signing Rafael Guerreiro, of course, has made the move from Borussia Dortmund, but is currently injured, so had his presentation on crutches. At least let him see the physio first, lads. Over in France, and there's the revelation that Kylian Mbappe might be moving over to Saudi Arabia, but he may well want to learn how the handshakes pre-game actually work. His current PSG teammate Neymar met up with iShowSpeed this week.
I love you, bro. My boy Neymar, bro.
And the meeting was very wholesome until Speed saw his sister enter the room. What the?
Nah,
Samuel Umtiti has just signed for Ligue 1 side Lille, but at his press conference there was a slightly unusual good boy of a guest. In Italy, and highly rated Swiss footballer Noah Okafor has signed for AC Milan. Their announcement for the youngster was very creative.
Oka 1, Oka 2, Oka 3.
Okafor.
Italian legend Gianluigi Buffon is reportedly determined to retire this year. Determined to, you know it's your choice, right? You could just retire any time. The Mafia won't be happy to realise he's retiring before his reparations are done, though.
I prefer to kill him.
Now though, it's time for your goals of the week, and we've got record-breaking scenes here, because there are 5 goals. This is unbelievable stuff, and the bar is set high from the get-go. We're starting off with potentially the best solo effort I've even seen in FTW history. Shout out to Andre Green, who's playing over at Rotherham, because as the ball is flicked on from a throw-in, he brings out an audacious back-heel volley to loop it over a goalkeeper. Over in the Czech Republic, and Dominik Koskas brought out a Puskás contender.
Hledá na z dálky, která končí až za zády Jana Hanuše.
In the Egyptian League, and we've got a new Roberto Carlos regen, because look at the bend on this free kick. And finally, after an incredible roster of goals, the cherry on the icing on top of the cake comes from Poland, with a corner getting cleared away and the most venomous volley you'll ever see crashing in off the crossbar. Roberto Firmino has of course moved over to Saudi Arabia after leaving Liverpool, and in his first game, his side won 18-0. He scored twice as Al Hilal beat Austrian side USV Stulfaden. San Marino have made remarkable moves in the FIFA World Rankings this week. They're up 3 places due to other teams not playing professional games for 4 years. And over in New Zealand, some crazy scenes there where 2 streakers entered the field of play, including one man on a wheelchair. I hate to be rude, right? But how did a man in a wheelchair get into the ground naked? Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
E ele vai fazer mais será nesse final? Fizeram o que quis, filho. Opa!
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Over in Brazil now, we've got a penalty about to be taken for a side called Kylian. I actually don't know. I've never seen this club before. My ball knowledge has let me down. And so has this referee for the penalty taker who was about to run up and had to try and style it out by skipping around when he realised the referee hadn't given him the whistle. He returned to the penalty spot only to miss the pen. Over in Slovenia, and Muro were winning 2-0 in the first game week of their league season, only to be pegged back to 2-2 and then for their goalkeeper to score this own goal in the 90th minute to lose. Over in Poland, and it's not quite enough to hit one post, where they're all about equality. Hit the other one as well. St. Patrick's Athletic from Ireland played a Conference League qualifier against Didalonge and were offered a way back into the game whilst 1-0 down by the opponent's goalkeeper. I mean, listen, get him up for corners. That's a lethal header from the shot stopper. Over in Russia, and Barbie fever is taking them by storm too.
Hi, Barbie.
Shout out Lithuanian side Zalgiris, who despite being down to 10 men, managed to grab a late equaliser against the great Galatasaray in a European qualifier. Their goal scorer fired in the 90th minute, celebrated by taking his shirt off and got his second yellow card. I've seen celebrations where players have ran off and jump into like piles of snow by the side of the pitch. Unfortunately for Argentinian players, quite a warm country, so instead they just jump into some sand. And down in the Chinese second division, one manager was not pleased with a refereeing decision and so was sent off. He decided to respond by slapping the official. Maybe if I get myself 2 red cards, they'll balance out as like 2 negative. Now though, for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, now Romania has been busy this week. The league campaign started up again, but that doesn't mean any of their usual shenanigans have been lost to the past. First of all, we start with an injured player who's up on a stretcher. It's time to get him into the ambulance.
Această targă ci de la salvare.
I said it's time to get him. They don't know how to fold a stretcher, guys. I'm not gonna lie. They haven't worked that one out. Instead, they had to pick him up and take him through the doors. Right, okay. And our second story comes from the 5th division, where a new Romanian side has become the sister of Borussia Dortmund. Yes, a Romanian side called Borussia has been set up in the lower leagues, and they won 12-2 this week. The fans are absolutely delighted. And the opponent's goalkeeper even tried to score a penalty, but ended up missing. Romanian football truly is beautiful. Now, closer to home, at the start of the video, you saw a hearse driving around on a pitch. That happened up at Gateshead, where fans of rivaling Dunstan took to the pitch in a 4x4 and a hearse, drove around and got the game abandoned before throwing flyers around, throwing allegations at one of the club's previous investors. Gateshead described it as an incident. Seems a little bit more than just an incident, lads, not gonna lie.
Nothing, just an incident.
Meanwhile, over in Indonesia, and how about this for playing out from the back from a goalkeeper? Edison, eat your heart out. This control and back heel pass. Indonesia, I was not familiar with your game. Well, actually I am. I do a segment on you, so... In Argentina and at San Lorenzo during a penalty shootout, the penalty spot and the grass underneath completely folded to the point where this player for San Lorenzo ended up skying the ball over the bar. In Brazil and at Santos, it's a perfect crowd, in my opinion, to be honest. Red Star Belgrade have had enough of pre-season friendlies on Twitter, where in their match, 60 substitutions were made. They just told fans to work things out themselves. There's only 22 players on the pitch. How the fuck do you make 60 subs? Ah, can't wait to make my day. Yeah, you're off, son. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, in Senegal, and there were truly unique scenes there in their division, as Stade Umbour and Turngout played against each other, but in the end, both qualified for the next round of their championship, and so both fans celebrated on the pitch after the game. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this week I'm going to say a massive shout out to the man who sent this clip over, Lucas Enqvist over in Sweden, who in a friendly against the Swedish Division 6 team got chased by a cow that ran onto the pitch. Done some good closing down there. I'd get him involved in the squad. Onto the weird stuff though now. We start off in Estonia, where there were some crazy scenes in the Estonian Cup. Now this competition for some reason always creates loads of goals, but here we've got Pärnu Tervis facing off against FCP Pärnu, and at full time the game was at 3-3. The game then heads to extra time, where unbelievably in the space of 30 minutes it goes from 3-all to 10-6. Did they start playing rush goalie after the full-time whistle? And staying in Estonia, things have got a little bit uncomfortable for their YouTube channel, who appear to have been hacked and are now being taken over by Tesla videos. They were too busy watching highlights of the Pärnu derby to change their password. At Wigan, and defender Jack Watmore has terminated his own contract at the club due to apparent contractual breaches under the previous ownership, but Wigan fans aren't too pleased and have decided to expose him for apparently cheating on his girlfriend via screenshots from TikTok. Never upset football fans because they will turn into detective chief inspectors. And finally, there was some concerning stuff over on US television where former Portsmouth goalkeeper Shaka Hislop collapsed live on air. Now, thankfully, I think he just fainted, and soon afterwards he was like conscious and talking. Obviously very scary stuff, but either way, I'm wishing Shaka the best, and hopefully we see him back on TV very, very soon. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you're new. I've got some sad news. Unfortunately, there will not be FTW next week. I know, for like the first time in I think 2.5 years, I am missing a week of FTW. It's because I'm on holiday from like Monday to Sunday, so I won't actually be able to record it. But don't worry, from the week after, it will return. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.